Tough ride by Harriman, able to get the ball back. And we've got our first flag down. I think they're going to get Northridge for a little late hit. We'll see what they come up with. Looks like the penalty is going to be on number 31, Travis Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald had a over-the-head check that pretty much secured the victory on Tuesday against Bonneville. He got beat by his man. He was coming around the crease. Was able to just get a stick check though and lodge the ball loose. And the ball was down long enough to secure the victory. So Fitzgerald, their go-to on defense, coming in with 57 caused turnovers, second team All-State defender. And we'll see if the Mustangs can capitalize on this man-up opportunity.
Yeah, they'll work that ball around. You see they run basically a wheel, and it bears fruit.
Great play there, number 4 finding number 82. 82 is Noah Bickham from Cage Blackburn.
The idea behind that play is just simply you're dragging a man to the edge of his zone and then you're passing it back to a teammate who has filled that spot. So his teammate on the defense has to leave his zone, and eventually you'll find an empty spot like they did by passing it across the crease, across the front of the cage, and just an easy, quick goal right on the doorstep.
And we'll have our second face-off of this game. Tanner McClune, number 1 out there for Northridge, going against number 26, Tyler Jessup for Herriman. Ball is still down. Knight's going to come up with it, but a great stick check puts the ball and the stick on the turf. The ball is still down at the top of the Mustang box. They're going to come away with a little one-on-one opportunity. Goes just wide, and they're going to go the goalie, the backup, Gallego, able to recognize that no one was behind him. Quickly scoots over to the end line as he looks to clear here. Unfortunate bounce off of the defender's leg. And Warner's going to come up with it. Smartly settles it down, Steve. Recognizes that, maybe they didn't have numbers and, want to get into that offensive set, get comfortable in their offensive set so that they can try to find a rhythm.
Yeah, you'd like to see the teams possess and kind of test the waters, feel out what the weak spots are in the defense, what matchups they like, and if they don't find anything, you'd like to see them have some picks set off ball, try to switch what defender is playing on what man.
After a little loose ball action, Herriman able to come up with it. Penalty was released a little bit ago, and so we're playing 6-on-6. Great takeaway. Unable to handle it though. Warner looks up. Oh, tries to find Bickham, who was wide open on the crease, and the ball sails just high. Ball's going to return to the Knights. 6:15 left in this first quarter. Herriman leading 1-0. Folks, if you have questions for us, comments about the broadcast, predictions, score predictions, NCAA or MLL updates, tweet at us. Twitter handle is @TimHaslam or @TheStephen_Nelson. We'll read your tweet on air, give you a shout out. Let us know where you're viewing from as well. Always love to see where people are tuned in from.
Tim, if Northridge wants to have a chance in this game, they're going to have to figure out how to clear against this tough Herriman ride. We talked about how Herriman, they have a lot of athletes. They play a very physical brand of ball. They can run with you. And Northridge is maybe going to need to just run a guy all the way across, a short stick that has competent stick skills, pass it to him and have him just run it all the way across.
Yeah, Steve, certainly can be effective if you put it in the hands of the right guy. Just kind of tell him to power cradle his way through it and get that clear. But you're right, Harriman ride extremely effective so far in this game. Northridge unable to find possession. Harriman dominating that time of possession right now as they look to work it around.
Yeah, Herriman's had several chances there again, just couldn't quite finish, couldn't take that next step. The ball trickles out of his stick as he winds up. But eventually these shots will start to fall.
Cage Blackburn coming up with it after the ball was loose. Going to get the ball behind. It's number 89, Hunter Brundage. Steve, we talked in their semifinal match about the number selection. Herriman going with two attackmen who have unusually high numbers, number 89 and number 82. Thought might be a carryover from another sport. or something like that. What was your number in high school?
Lacrosse or football?
Both.
The question. Football, I was 82. Lacrosse, I was 22.
Okay. Fitzgerald with the nice stick work. Like we mentioned earlier, he's their go-to on defense. Oh, nice feed. Finds number 11, Sam Sargent, for the fast break goal. And that all started with Fitzgerald, Steve, who picked off the ball at the other end and was able to take it all the way, finding Sam Sargent on the doorstep.
Yeah, great job, Fitzgerald. You don't often see long poles, get stats in the stat book, but he gets the assist there. What a great clear to finish for the Knights. And just a perfect pass, too. It's a great vision to find his man coming up from behind the cage. A lot of long poles would touch it in the top of the box, run away from pressure, and just, try to find the nearest short stick to pass it to. But great vision.
McClune out there for Northridge. Pennington out there for Harriman. Pennington coming into this game only taking 70 faceoffs, winning 33, so that's 47%. We'll see the Mustangs come away with it. Number 9 for the Mustangs, Clint Allred, who we mentioned had leukemia this time last year. So good to see him out there on the field doing well as Herriman clears. And they're offsides. They've got 7 down there. Yep, the ref finally notices it. Just a turnover, Steve, change of possession. Used to be a flag. Remember those days?
Yeah, so
Too many men, yeah.
They made the right adjustment here that it's just a turnover. Obviously, if you're on defense and you're offsides, you get the flag.
Huddleston with the ball, gets a touch, being pressured by the Harriman defense. So, Steve, this will be the first time we really see, I guess the second time we'll see Northridge in their offense, their goal coming on a fast break opportunity, and Harriman just relentless, able to cause the turnover. 52, Austin Stauffer coming up with the ground ball. He's able to clear it.
Yeah, the Knights may be a little too ambitious, a little too quick on that one. Work the ball around, get that possession. Again, find your matchups, find what you'd like to see, and then attack from there.
Harriman's going to call a timeout. 3:08 remaining in this first quarter. Score is tied at 1. We're going to take a break with them. When we come back, the end of the first quarter.
Tribal West is the first name in lacrosse out west. For more than 15 years, Tribal West has been gearing up beginners to ballers. Our online store is super easy, and we save you time and money. And team stores, let us do your work. Our deals for both men's and women's MCLA teams are flat out laxtastic. We just made that up. Sublimated unis, made in the USA, and delivered on time. Tribal West, proud to be family owned and player operated. Tribal West, look good, play better.
Welcome back, fans, after that timeout. Steve Herriman with the ball, called the timeout late in this first quarter. What do you think the message from Coach Phil Dunn was?
They've seen that they can get chances. They can work the ball around and they can get looks at the cage. They've had an open man on the doorstep. They've had a pretty good look from about 5 yards out. It's 8 yards out maybe. But they just need to catch first and then finish. Just take it one step at a time. Do the things that they know how to do. I think that's the message from Coach Phil Dunn, if I know him at all, is to let's play our fundamental ball. Don't get overexcited because this is a championship game. Just take it one step at a time and we'll walk away victorious.
We'll see what happens here if the Herriman Mustangs can execute on that plan, as it looks like Northridge is pressing out a little further than they have so far. Oh, great feed. Would have liked to see that in the left hand, Steve. Would have been an easy shot. We're going to get a loose ball push, though, on Northridge, so the ball will stay with Herriman with Bickham on that far wing. Gets the ball over to Blackburn. He's going to carry.
Yeah, that's the danger in pressing out quite so far, is that your teammates are going to feel a need to sneak up to help you out in case you get burned, and then your man is left open.
Rusty K check from McClune. Able to put the ball on the turf, but he kind of lost his stick when it happened. Unable to get the ground ball, but draws a loose ball push. What a check.
It was a fantastic check. That's the kind of thing that a former defenseman like me likes to see. That rusty gate is something that's beautiful when you can do it right, but that's the key to young players. Don't just go out there swinging your stick willy-nilly. Make sure you have practiced it a lot and you know when the appropriate time to throw it is so you don't get a penalty.
Fitzgerald unable to clear, leads to that shot by Warner, goes high, and we've got a flag down. Looks like they're going to get number 44 from Northridge, Brock Finlinson, on a slash.
And, Tim, you know I love taking that shot right there. You got that free possession. If the ball touches the ground, your possession's over. Might as well get a shot on cage.
Yeah, a little different than the college, you know, because college the ball can hit the turf and you can still have that play on. But, yeah, in high school, if you've got the opportunity, if you're in front of that cage, you might as well wing it because the second that ball hits the ground, and stop and play. And so, yeah, good decision there to shoot. It goes just high, and Herriman will once again be man up.
Yeah, it's been an interesting chess match so far between these two teams. We got this 1-1 score. Both defenses playing pretty well. Both offenses still trying to feel it out and figure out how do we crack this nut.
Shot goes off the head of McClune, shot by Blackburn. That's Gunnar Blackburn.
Yeah, Tim, that'll rattle your cage a little bit right there.
Yeah, that'll have your ears ringing for quite a while. And we're going to have a whistle and a loose ball push on Harriman. It's going to give the ball back to Northridge. Trying to find the ball. It got hidden in that white lettering on the field. And that's number 7, Yo Finlinson. Swings it to the wing. Huddleston unable to control it. Harriman coming away. Tries to get the clear. Nice check by Huddleston as he throws it. And that's going to roll out of bounds and be Northridge ball. 1:12 left in this first quarter. Score is tied at 1. So far, a pretty good game, Steve. Haven't seen a ton of errors. It's been, full of good possessions. Only the one fast break goal.
Yeah, and that check that we saw that caused this turnover, one of the best checks you can throw is just to wait. Let that man think that he's safe at a safe distance, and when he raises his arms to throw, to pass or to shoot, whatever, that's when you get that lift on his elbow or that poke right into his bottom fist, and really disrupt that pass and send it out of bounds.
We'll see if Northridge can score on a 6-on-6 situation. Their first goal coming in fast break opportunity. Good slides there by Herriman. Quick ball movement. Unable to get the shot off. Wisely pulls it out to maintain possession.
Yeah, good job by the Herriman defense. Northridge did exactly what they're supposed to do. They drew a slide, and then they moved the ball quickly trying to find the open guy, but just could not get away from the Herriman D.
Sam Skousen, a little ambitious there from GLE. We got 2 officials making 2 different calls. Ball was originally going to be given to Herriman, but overridden, given back to the Knights. Number 11 is going to start, Sam Sargent. 15 seconds left in this first quarter. Huddleston with the ball. Kind of nonchalantly just charging around. Sargent with the shot. It's going to go wide. Ball is down. I believe the ref, this near side ref, had a loose ball push, but time expired anyway, and they're just going to let that one go. Score is tied at 1. Again, in this Class B state championship, Herriman and Northridge. We'll take a short break. Join us on the other side for the second quarter.
Tribal West is the first name in lacrosse out west. For more than 15 years, Tribal West has been gearing up beginners to ballers. Our online store is super easy, and we save you time and money. And team stores, let us do your work. Our deals for both men's and women's MCLA teams are flat out laxtastic. We just made that up. Sublimated unis, made in the USA and delivered on time. Tribal West, proud to be family owned and player operated. Tribal West, look good, play better.
Welcome back, lacrosse fans, as we begin the second quarter in this Class B championship game between the Herriman Mustangs and the Northridge Knights. Tanner McLuhan going to come up with that opening face-off for the Knights and get it ahead to the attack. Steve, good first quarter. Great defense by both teams. Northridge's goal came on a fast break, unable to find any space in that 6-on-6. What adjustments do you think should be made?
Northridge.
Oh, great goal. That's exactly what you were just going to say. And they're going to actually wave it off.
Well, they say it was in the crease. Anyway, I was going to say Northridge needs to move the ball more. We saw a lot in their semifinal matchup that they like to dodge. They like to take that one-on-one dodge to shoot. When instead, maybe against a good Harriman defense like this, they need to be dodging to pass. Right, dodge hard, look to draw that slide. Harriman likes to slide early and double team. And so they're going to have to move the ball. You got to move that ball quickly. You got to have confidence in your teammates. You got to throw those quick passes, and you got to create for that offense.
Yeah, and that's what they did. Able to get the goal, but it was waved off as they judged him to be in the crease. Jessup on the clear for Harriman tries to take on 6 or 7 guys by himself, and Coach Phil Dunn able to call a timeout to maintain possession before Jessup was pushed out of bounds. Steve, we talked in prior broadcasts about Phil Dunn. This is the second season with Harriman. However, in 2011, he coached at Spanish Fork and led them to a D2 championship. So a similar classification, and would be, should he go on to win, would be the first head coach to win a championship at any level with 2 separate teams.
Yeah, Phil Dunn, he took a break between Spanish Fork and Harriman to actually play his final year. He used up his final year of eligibility at UVU and helped revive that program. He has a lot of lacrosse knowledge, and it shows here. Being in your second championship as a head coach is no small feat.
Especially with 2 different teams. Even getting to 2 championships with one team is a feat, but let alone 2. So there you see Barnicki for the Mustangs. Steve kind of has a mane of his own, channeling the logo on his helmet as that hair extends well out of the helmet. Reminds you of a Mustang. Folks, if you've got questions or comments for us, go ahead and tweet at us. We'll read your tweet on air. Love to interact with you, see what you're thinking about this game so far, and let us know where you're joining from. Twitter handle, as we see a shot here. Great shot by Herriman. Great save by Gallego.
Gallego.
Gallego. We're going to have trouble with that one. But the Twitter handle, at Tim Haslam, TIMHASLAM, and the Steven Nelson is Steve's Twitter handle. So let us know. Harriman with the shot, or excuse me, Northridge with the shot. The bullet from outside, a little bit of a slow break. That's going to be number 8. Dawson Ashton able to find the back of the net.
Yeah, Ashton does a nice job of recognizing that his man doesn't slide up to him, right? We've talked about this in previous broadcasts. It's like basketball. The first step is you got to stop ball. Nobody really steps up to it. They kind of dare him to shoot from there. And he sends that bouncer that bounces far enough out that it gets back up and over the stick of the goalkeeper, and kind of waist level high, maybe chest level high is where it bounces up to. And that's a tough save for the goalie to make.
Yeah, excellent shot placement on that far pipe. Gives Northridge the 2-1 lead.
So both Northridge goals so far have come on fast breaks or, unsettled situations. And we'll see if they continue to push the tempo with that in mind.
We have another flag down here. And another penalty. Didn't quite see the infraction, Steve. See what the refs have to say about this one.
We've got a slash on
number 45. That's Barnicki.
And
he'll be in the box for 1 minute.
It'll also be interesting to see if we see Harriman adjust to the only time they've given up goals is these fast break situations. If they start to drop guys to the hole really quickly instead of riding quite so hard. When you ride hard, you get that ball back sometimes, but also you can give up those transition goals.
Northridge working the ball around well. Oh, ball's down. Nice check by Herriman. And there's going to be Gerritsen. And he'll outrun everyone on this field, no matter what team they're on. Great play, able to clear it. Oh, ball's down, though. Little man ball action, and Fitzgerald's going to come up with it. Looks upfield. Excellent pass to Skousen, who gets the over the shoulder. Northridge still a man up. And they'll settle. So Harriman able to kill a little bit of time. You know, Gerritsen thought he had a great pass up to Bickham. Bickham unable to handle it, and that penalty is released. So we'll be 6-on-6 here.
It's something you've seen from the Harriman defense is they really pack it in tight.
Great play from X. That's number 47, able to get on the tail end of that Sam Skousen on the tail end of a Sam Sargent pass.
Yeah, the problem with that is the Harriman defense packed in there tight, like I said. Their heads, they're all looking at the ball. Every single one you could see were turned around looking at the ball, and then nobody to see that cutter. That's just too easy for Northridge. A little uncharacteristic of the Mustangs and what we've seen so far this season.
We'll see if Coach Phil Dunn has any adjustments for his team. He's a defensive-minded player, Steve. Can't be happy about giving up that. That was an easy goal to give up. McClune out there again for Northridge facing Pennington. And McClune's going to come away with it. McClune, as we mentioned, the second team All-State. Or sorry, didn't make any All-State team. But coming into this game, 51%, winning 51% of his face-offs, 106 wins on the season.
Yeah, he seems to start to be figuring stuff out at the face-off X. He's winning more and more. He seems to be picking up momentum as this game goes along.
Good spin move. Weaving through traffic. Tries to get the shot off. Good rebound by Sargent. And a great save by Aspen Valdez. Haven't called his name much today. Coming in this game with 77 saves, a 52% save average. And he'll outlet to Gerritsen, who just jogs, but still beats his man as his speed is on display. He's going to give Bickham a lob pass on this time, as the last one resulted in a turnover. And we'll have Herriman get their offense on the field. Number 16's trotting out there, Nicholas Barker, 6 goals, 3 assists on the season.
Yeah, we haven't really seen a good Herriman possession so far this quarter. It'll be interesting to see if they take their time or if they want to push the gas to the floor.
Great slides by Northridge, able to keep Herriman out wide, out tall, as Barker gets his hands free. Not sure if that's a shot or a pass. Either way, saved by Gallego. And Northridge is coming away with it. That's number 2, Ryan Burke, but throws it right back to Herriman. And I think you'd like to have that one back, Steve.
Yeah, I think you're right. You would like to see Cage Blackburn, who picked that one off, you'd like to see him push maybe a little bit more while it's unsettled, as opposed to just taking his time getting it back into the box.
Warner on the spin move, dodges a stick check, shoots low, goes just wide. Herriman with the backup. Number 89, Hunter Brundage on that backup. A nice heads-up play to have his heels on the inline. As the Mustangs work the ball, look to pull back a goal, scored their first goal of the game, look to have all the momentum, and then Northridge with 3 straight. Oh, good shot, just wide. And Gallego tried to beat his man, wasn't quite able to do that as Warner gets the shot off. We'll see if Brundage can initiate the offense from X. Oh, nice feed.
Just a great tic-tac-toe pass there, and a little bit of miscommunication by the Northridge defense. It looks like they didn't all mark up after that last shot. 2 guys probably thought they had the same man, and Mustang finds himself free on the crease. Great job of moving the ball quickly and not letting them readjust or recognize where that open man was.
And that was a little payback for the last goal, as Bickham finds Blackburn. Blackburn set up Bickham on the first goal. So those two working well so far in this game. Northridge leads, though, 3-2, 6:11 left in the first quarter. McClune out there for the Knights. And it looks like Mason Brown, number 60 for the Mustangs. And he's going to come away with it. Brown's only taken 62 faceoffs this season, but he leads the team with faceoff percentage at 56%.
Yeah, Brown, he's a little bit more stout and maybe able to match up a little bit better at the faceoff X. We've talked about this before, that sometimes the numbers on the faceoffs don't really matter. It's all about that matchup that you have. How well do you match up in this kind of game of rock, paper, scissors with the other guy at the faceoff X? So maybe Coach Phil Dunn seeing something there that he'd like to take advantage of and maybe win a few more draws at the center X.
You know, the other thing too, Steve, is that McClune takes all the faceoffs for Northridge and then goes and plays the D-midi shift. And Herriman has 3 or 4 guys that they can count on at the faceoff X. So perhaps just working through a rotation to try to get to wear McClune down. So we see the ball on the turf. Fitzgerald making plays left and right.
Over the head check.
That should be a procedure, playing without a stick. We'll see what they call. So the ball was down for number 52, Stauffer. He boxed out Fitzgerald, and I don't know about that one, Steve.
I'm a little confused by the call. I might have missed something, but I definitely didn't see anything that warranted an infraction on the team there.
I think the infraction would have been on a Harriman. It looked like Stauffer was boxing Fitzgerald out, but his stick was on the ground, which would be, you know, playing without your stick. So Harriman catching a break there on a little chaos with a loose ball and the ball in the stick. We'll see if they can capitalize here. Blackburn. Oh, nice kick save by Gallego off the nice shot by Bickham. Bickham able to get his hands free, take a nice time and space shot.
Yeah, and it was really good shot placement. That's where you want to put that shot, but Gallego just anticipating it, just waiting for it.
Shot wide by Cage Blackburn. Gonna give the back up to Warner. 4:24 left in this second quarter. Oh, nice time and space shot. That's just a nice step down from Cage Blackburn. Number 4, coming in this game with 24 goals, 20 assists. Had 2 goals in the semifinal.
Yeah, your man-down defense needs to play really tight and especially needs to recognize who's adjacent to the ball. There we had a Northridge Knight occupied by somebody else, and so Blackburn had time and room, and you know what that equals.
I say goals. You're going to say money, but...
Time, room, money. Yes, indeed.
Don't forget, fans, you can tweet at us. Twitter handle is @TimHaslam or @TheStephen Love to take your call or your tweets on air. If you want to call in, I'll tweet you my number as well. We can have a conversation at halftime. But so far, a great game here in this Class B championship between the Northridge Knights and the Herriman Mustangs. Herriman currently with the ball. They've scored the last 2 goals on the back of Cage Blackburn, who's had a couple great looks so far early in this game. We'll see if Northridge can make an adjustment as the Herriman offense gets on the field. Ball's going to be rolled over to Tyler Jessup.
Yeah, and Mason Brown wins his 2nd faceoff in a row. I wonder if this is a trend we're going to see and something that the Knights are going to have to adjust to.
Yeah, McClune for the Knights has been solid all year, but kind of getting worked in the second quarter. As we see a shot, that's going to be gobbled up by Gallego. He's able to get nice position. Gets nice and low and just scoops that one right out of the air. Knights will look to clear. Gallego's content to just walk it up. He's going to cross. Northridge stays on sides. Can be tricky sometimes. And he's going to take it to the cage. Oh, he opts to pass it. Would have loved to see a shot there, Steve. Nothing better than a goalie goal.
Yeah, it would have been a lot of fun. I like that he's trying to be unselfish, but you're that close to the cage, and yeah, maybe not used to making those passes to the crease when you were the goalie.
Running full speed, cross-field pass, probably not something he practices much. So Herriman will get the ball off the turnover. They're going to easily clear up to Blackburn as we have about 3 minutes left in this one, 2:50 to be exact. Northridge and Herriman tied at 3. Harriman with the last 2 goals in this quarter after Northridge jumped up to a 3-1 lead. So great game so far, Steve. This is the 4th game in this championship. We've had several games so far. Like I was saying, sorry, I was a little dumbfounded. The Northridge attackman just walked over the midline, clearly offsides, and finally the flag is thrown as Harriman gets the shot off that goes outside. And Harriman's going to be man up again after just a little bit of a mental lapse there by Northridge.
Yeah, not sure what happened there. This field is really well marked for lacrosse. All the lacrosse lines are red, except for that midline obviously is the 50-yard line, and the top of the boxes are the 30-yard line. So maybe just, got confused about the lines.
Maybe thought he had a guy back or something. I don't know. But Harriman with the man-up opportunity for 30 seconds.
Well, again, you see how spread out this Northridge man down is. You'd like to see him play a little tighter.
Yeah, Gallego's been impressive from outside shots, so probably a lot of faith in the goalie as Harriman gets a nice inside feed but unable to control it. They're just getting mugged out there by the Northridge defense. Great play by the Northridge Knights. Brock Finlinson gets the ball, gives it back to Gallego. Harriman is still a man up. Looks like the penalty was released. We've got a whistle.
Yeah, Gallego stepped in the crease there when he stepped to throw that ball, and you cannot go into the crease, walk into the crease with possession of the ball.
So Harriman will get the ball back. 1:39 left in this first half of the Class B championship of the Utah High School Lacrosse League. Fans, don't forget to tweet us your questions, especially at halftime. Twitter handle for me is @TimHaslam, TimHaslam, and Steve's is the Steve Nelson. So 1:25 left as Harriman has had most of possession here late in this second half. Looking for a goal. They've scored the last 2. And that's Bickham. He's going against number 44, Finlinson, and nothing going there as we see a high outside shot by Warner. Cage Blackburn. He's had the last 2 goals, so he felt like he had the hot hand. Wanted to get that step down laser.
Yeah, a lot of velocity on that shot, but I think Gallego's too good from that far out. It's going to be hard to bury that one.
Gallego heaves it, just misses his man. Diving, Sam Sargent trying to dive and save it, unable to do so. 48 seconds left.
Yeah, really ambitious play there. I mean, not a bad idea, but a tough pass to throw again. Northridge hasn't had a possession in a while. Try to just find one of your shorties and get a possession.
And again, Northridge goes off sides, but I don't think they noticed it. 43 for Northridge. Max Nickel needs to somehow, get in his head that the 50-yard line is the midline. As Herriman, bodies are flying, big hits are being laid all over the field, and Harriman's going to retain. 11 seconds left as a couple guys are a little slow getting up, Steve.
Well, we promised a physical game when you tuned in at the beginning of the contest, and it hasn't disappointed thus far.
Oh, nice rip there by Gunnar Blackburn, trying to mimic his brother Cage Blackburn, but Gallego up to the task, and he's just going to hold it as time runs out. Score is 3-3. Excellent game so far in this first half, the Class B championship game here from Alta High School in Sandy, Utah. Don't forget, folks, you can tweet at us @TimHaslam or @TheSteven We'll read your tweets on air. Join us in about 10 minutes, though, for the second half of this game.
Tribal West is the first name in lacrosse out west. For more than 15 years, Tribal West has been gearing up beginners to ballers. Our online store is super easy, and we save you time and money. In team stores, let us do your work. Our deals for both men's and women's MCLA teams are flat out laxtastic. We just made that up. Sublimated unis, made in the USA, and delivered on time. Tribal West, proud to be family owned and player operated. Tribal West, look good, play better.
long as I can remember, lacrosse was probably the most important thing in my life.
To have something like that follow me along all the way through my college and have it associated with my friends and my family and everything that I've done is what it kind of means to me.
I've seen it create opportunity for a ton of different guys, and the opportunities it's created for me to see success and to learn.
It really teaches you hard work, dedication.
You know, it's something that I want to keep with me.
All right, guys, let's have a good time today. Possession!
When my priorities started to change and lacrosse couldn't be as big a part of my life as it had been, I found that officiating was a way for me to stay involved with the game, but it provided a lot of flexibility for me setting my own schedule, but I could still be around the game.
It's another step, and it's another segue to still staying involved and also having that balance, because, you know, it's hard having that work-life balance. And where officiating, I can do that on the weekend, I can do that after my work, and it's still giving me that, I guess, camaraderie as well. That's certainly what I miss.
I literally thought I was just going to be officiating for 1 year. That was my goal. Referee for 1 year, and then get into coaching and stay involved in the game that way. Second I put on the stripes, fell in love with it. Absolutely loved every aspect of it. The demands, the challenges, trying to be the best out there every single game.
Officiating is something that has been a great outlet for me. Post-college and during college, I was able to make a little money on the side while getting to stay involved in the game in a different aspect than playing. And I think for girls our age or boys coming out of college, this is a perfect outlet to stay involved.
Officiating definitely translates to all aspects of my life. I've met great guys that I'm able to kind of emulate, and you gain a lot of information from those guys. And also the in-game stuff, you know, problem solving, being confident, communicating through a kind of stressful time are all things that you can translate to your daily life.
Being able to say, okay, well, I can take the opportunities and the lessons that I've learned on the lacrosse field, and I'm not scared of anything, and I'm not afraid to voice my own opinions, and really kind of stand up for myself in a way that's non-confrontational but still very authoritative, I think is a huge advantage as an official.
I think officiating has taught me that there's things that are bigger than yourself. And the best part about officiating, when you feel like you've done a good job and other people have said you've done a good job, is you only get involved when you have to. You're there to officiate the game, you're there to enforce the rules, interpret the rules, and the less visible you are, the better.
You know, even if we're not instructing the players, what we do and say out on the field is helping those players to develop and become better.
You really get to keep that connection with the sport. You get to make connections with the players, with the coaches, and with the fans. It makes it a lot of fun being able to be in the game and still be a part of the game by being an official.
Thanks, buddy. Good job,
being like one of these first few younger officials, I think that we can definitely start a trend, and I think if there's anything I can say, or maybe just one little thing that can help more people get involved, I feel like I can definitely make an impact that way.
You feel the intensity of the game, you're a part of the game, and that gives you a chance to still, even though you're not playing, be a part of something special. I think, you know, when you go through this and you start getting bigger playoff games and you're starting to do things, you're part of something.
So one of my favorite officiating moments was after a game and a parent approached us and just congratulated us on doing a great job and that they really appreciate our time. So that's always a positive thing when, regardless of win or lose, you have parents that can say, whether my child won or lost, we feel like you refereed a fair game.
Big games, the roar of the crowd, the anticipation, getting ready in the locker room, getting my things together at home, kind of thinking about what's going on. The feeling, there's a feeling there that I really enjoyed as a player, knowing a big game was coming. And officiating has done that for me again.
I think our players have such a love and passion for the game, and so once they graduate, for them to be able to move on and give back as an official, help to grow the game, help to influence young people, I think that's a wonderful thing for them to do as they go into their adult life.
As our sport grows, there is a lack of officials out there, and it just gives players at all levels more of an opportunity to play, and to play in an environment that is officiated by players that have played the game allows for those young players to play at their best.
The speed of our game has increased tremendously, and so I think it's really important that our officials hold themselves to that same level. And having younger officials come into the game, people who have played at that fast pace and can make decisions at that fast pace and be physically fit, will help our game continue to grow and continue to rise up.
The benefits really are just a deeper understanding of the sport, a whole nother side of it. For the most part, our student athletes are very smart individuals, and I think we all have a passion for learning, so you get to learn something completely different and new.
Officiating is your way to stay involved. It is incredible experience. You're running up the field with the girls. You feel like you are still a player. You get to meet an incredible community of other officials who have a good time, are there for the same reason you are, and you feel like you're on a team again.
You got to get into this. This is a great way to get out, get active, to give back to the sport that's given so much to you. You get to make great money, you get to meet really nice people, and have a good time.
It's definitely a cool unit to be a part of, and it's something that you can do for the rest of your life.
So the biggest difference between the Under Armour Command Head and the Command Low is the ability to form a mid to low pocket, whereas the original Command was designed to form a mid to high pocket. It really is the ideal head shape for attackmen and midfielders who like to shoot the ball. Through the narrow profile, it keeps the ball from hanging in the corners of the head, which is going to give players a more accurate shot. Another great benefit of the design is the glide scoop feature, which allows players to pick up ground balls more quickly and efficiently. Coming in at under 5 ounces, the Command Low is a lightweight option that doesn't compromise the performance benefits of the head. The head is constructed of a temperature stabilizing material that helps it hold up throughout the seasons.
And we're back, fans, for the second half of the Class B state championship between the Northridge Knights and the Herriman Mustangs. All knotted up at 3. As Tanner McClune out there for the Knights facing off against Mason Brown, and Brown able to come up with it. Brown's been successful, Steve, in the few face-offs he's taken. And well, we thought that might be a story, and so far it has been, as it looks like they're wearing down McClune.
Yeah, it seems like a good adjustment from the Harriman coaching staff to recognize that McClune he's a physical, tough, stout face-off man, and so you need somebody who can match up with that.
Nice shot by Blackburn, goes off the defender, and Gallego able to easily collect it. Looks for the outlet, that unable to convert. Fitzgerald's going to get triple teamed by the Mustangs, and Blackburn coming up with it.
It'll be interesting to see how these two teams come out in the second half. The first half, obviously a defensive struggle, which I think plays in favor of Harriman, but Northridge, I mean, they've played tit for tat. We're 3-3, and this game could pick up steam, and we could see a lot more offense here real quick.
Thanks for joining us today in this broadcast. This is the 4th championship game we've had today. The first game was the Boys Class C final that was won by Box Elder 6-5 over Timpview. Then the girls took the field. The Division II champions going to Olympus taking care of business. And then the Division I girls championship was won by Park City, who four-peated. This was their fourth straight championship. So definitely on a dynasty, and I don't think it'll slow down. Great shot by Northridge. Sam Sargent getting a little tricky there for the Knights as they regain the lead.
Yeah, Skousen able to thread that needle. What a great pass, and then Sargent able to pick it up in space. Very limited space there. Great tight window that he fits it into, and just a quick stick, real quick, puts it past the goalie. Nice job by Northridge.
McClune out there again, going up against Brown. Like we've said, Brown has won the last 3 face-offs. Bigger kid, like you mentioned, so the stats don't show that he's taken a lot of face-offs, but like you mentioned, it's probably strategic because he is a little thicker. But McClune able to come up with a big face-off for the Knights.
Yeah, McClune may be figuring out that he's not going to be able to use his leverage quite as much against Brown, so he goes with the quick hands this time and able to plunge it and push it forward.
The Knights content to settle as they jog on their midfield line. As Sargent, the last goal scorer, looks to initiate from X. Oh, what a play. Steve, they've done that before. Sargent finding Skousen, who buries it.
Yeah, after that last pass, I think the Mustang defense a little worried about that feed coming from behind, and ironically, that's what hurts them. Everybody got their head turned around looking at the ball instead of looking for who's going to be cutting, and it just becomes too easy.
What can you do on defense to make adjustments there?
So what you want to do is you've got to trust the man playing the man with the ball behind the cage. And you've got to get your head turned around and just be paying attention for those cutters, be getting sticks on hands. It's one of the few times usually your goalie's going to be turned around too. He's going to have his stick up trying to look to pick off any passes, so he might not be able to tell you if cutters are coming, but he can call out a check.
Gertzen scoots up the face-off ground ball, takes it the distance. What a goal by Gertzen.
Oh, you'd love to see that. Just anytime a long pole scores, it's like a big, reverse slam dunk. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Just does a great job of using his athleticism to get all the way downfield, find space, and then he does what I always told my poles to do, which is put it into a corner. It's either going to sneak in that corner or it's going to go wide, and we'll back it up. Don't take any, silly shots. Don't be a hero. Just put it on a corner and see if it goes in, and he does that.
Gertzen with his fourth goal of the season, the second team All-State defender. And as Moon comes, I don't know why I said Moon, Mason Brown comes up with the ground ball win off the face-off. So the last 2 face-off, Steves, have led to goals. The first one going to McClune, which led to the Northridge goal, and then obviously that last one. And so we'll see if that can become a trend here for the Mustangs as they work it around on offense. Oh, great stick check by Fitzgerald. Able to get the ball in the turf, and he's going to come away with it. Oh, good pass. Looking upfield to number 2, Ryan Burke. Burke unable to handle it.
Yeah, Burke trying to get upfield before he had the ball. Just wait for that pass, get it, and then go.
And Warner is the man with the ball. Gets it behind to Hunter Brundage. Oh, nice low shot. Saved by Gallego. Able to get his stick down like a catcher. And it just ricochets off. Herriman able to control it.
Yeah, Gallego playing well against those shots from the right wing there. He's able to get his stick around. He anticipates they're going to try to put it far pipe, and he gets there quickly.
So Gallego having a great game so far. Tough, though, when you're faced with a one-on-one opportunity like that from Hunter Brundage, who buries it.
Yeah, Brundage just keeps working on his man, and eventually it pays dividends. He'll lose his man, get a step, and then no slide comes at all. One-on-one with the keeper, and even Gallego, who's having a good day, that one's really tough to save.
So we saw 6 total goals in the first half. So far we've had 4 already early in this third quarter. 8:18 remaining in the third quarter. And this Class B championship game between the Northridge Knights and the Herriman Mustangs. And a new guy out there for the Knights. Steve, haven't seen him. Connor Gray taking some time at the face-off X as we have a little tangle at the 40-yard line, and Gray's gonna keep it and initiate this offense.
You know, Tim, it's funny. I'm so used to watching the girls' game now that we just watched 2 girls' championships back to back. I half expected the official to tell the player to stand behind the man with the ball, which is what they do in girls lacrosse after an infraction.
Yeah, certainly. If you didn't watch those games, a couple great games as we get a ambitious shot from number 29, Jacob Woolsey, goes high. Steve, the first game was a great game. Olympus taking down Weber, and then the second game, you saw why Park City is basically a dynasty. They just dominated Harriman, in fact. So a lot of the Harriman players have stuck around, which is fun. Colt Barnicki taking it away for the Mustangs. Brown's going to take it. Gallego gets a stick on it, but it bounces in as Mason Brown gets his first goal of the season.
Oh, Brown does a great job of recognizing he's got time and room. He switches to his left hand to give himself angle, as you'll see here, and then it just trickles by. Gallego gets a piece of it, I think both with the head of his stick and with his foot, but it just has enough English and enough momentum to creep on into the goal.
It started with the good defense, though, by Colt Barnicki, able to get the takeaway check, steal it, and look upfield. Brown was still on the field because he was on as a defensive midi. Northridge just didn't pick him up, and Herriman scored the last 3 goals and reclaimed the lead, 6-5, with 7:17 left in this third quarter.
Yeah, you wonder a little bit if Brown was winded after that sprint all the way down the field. He wasn't on for that next faceoff.
Yeah, also, like I mentioned, Harriman using forward guys this season at the faceoff X. Tyler Jessup, number 26, taking most of the faceoffs, with Brown taking the second most. So we'll see what continues to develop there as the Mustangs get off a shot, which leads to a ball down situation. Oh, good play by Harriman. That's Chase Warner, or Marcus Warner. Picks off the pass that was going to Gallego.
Oh, Gallego out of the cage. That was dangerous.
And again, this 50-yard line just causing havoc. Didn't play an effect in the first 3 games, but for some reason, both teams having trouble determining what's the midfield and what isn't, even though I think it's pretty clearly marked, Steve.
I can tell you this, Tim, the fans aren't having any trouble determining when somebody's offsides. They let the official know.
We're going to get a little interference as the ball had passed that threshold where you can hit a guy. Ball stays with Northridge.
Yeah, advantageous for Northridge. They've had trouble kind of like early in the first half just clearing the ball and getting a good clean possession here lately. So we'll see what they can do here, if they'll take their time or just go straight to the cage. That answers my question.
Nice shot by Skousen. Jessup up to the challenge, Valdez, Aspen Valdez, the Herriman goalie, up to the challenge. Barnicki's got the ball. Good pass to Warner. Looks on the crease to Brundage, and a great goal by the Mustangs in transition.
Yeah, you love to see a team taking advantage of those transition situations, especially in a game like this that was so low scoring. You've got to find new ways to score. Push the ball in transition. Trust your stick skills. Trust your teammate to catch, a fast pass, a hard pass, and that's what happens there. And once you catch it on the crease, it just takes a flick of the wrist, less than a second to put it in.
Great play, great transition effort there by the Mustangs. McClune out there for Northridge. Officials in the way of that Herriman player. Try to get a beat on him. Looks like it's Brown. And that isn't McClune. That's number 9, Connor Gray again for the Knights. Wonder if McClune's winded. Don't see anyone undressed on the bench or anything. So maybe Gray just getting an opportunity here as McClune rests. Big hit. Another big hit. We're going to have a loose ball push. Going to be awarded to the Knights.
So we'll see if they can clear here. Like I said, they've had a little bit of difficulty, but everybody, their offensive personnel coming in off the bench, and Herriman looked content just to drop back in and play defense.
Yeah, that's Hunt with the ball. Got a touch. Looking for help. Unable to find it. Nice stick check. Goes straight to Allred.
Yeah, if you're Hunt, run away from pressure there. Just touch the corner of the box, turn and run away, find one of your offensive players.
Gertzen looks upfield. Had a guy open. Ball sails out of bounds, though. And Fitzgerald will get it back for the Knights. We're going to look to clear. A little bit of unsettled play here with 4:50 left in this third quarter. Herriman with a 7-5 lead. And they're content to just let Fitzgerald kind of walk around back there. Gets it up to Huddleston. Huddleston's going to split the two defenders and get a touch. See some space. Low bounce shot goes in. Little left-handed off-speed shot for Huddleston. Finds the back of the net.
Yeah, I'd love to see the adjustment there from Huddleston. Not afraid to go to his left hand, his offhand, and sends an early bouncer, which you'll see gets the top of the cage. Hard to read for the goalie.
Little off-speed knuckleball there. We gave Huddleston a hard time in that semifinal. If you joined us then, he had several just poor shots, to be honest with you. Don't know how else to say it. And we joked that he would either have the game winner or come up big in the championship. So Huddleston listening to our words, taking it to heart as he took it to the goal there, able to get the goal. McClune out there again for Northridge. Scoops it, pops it right past Brown. Flag down. 2 flags down. Probably the same call. Looks like it'll go against Herriman.
Yeah, Tim, for Huddleston, he's so good at creating his own shot, at getting his hands free. And we just made that observation. If he can get a more consistent shot, he'll put up numbers on the board.
Yeah, he could have had 4 or 5 in that semifinal game.
Does so far so well today, though.
Yeah, 1 for 1, right? Northridge on the man-up opportunity. Looks like they're setting up in a 2-4. Not sure what'll come of that, or see if they get some movement. As Woolsey on the wing there gets it behind to Sargent. Looks like they settled more into a 1-3-2. And the ball sails out of bounds. Unfortunate for Sargent. Fortunate for the Mustangs.
Yeah, good thought there. Try to play 2-on-1, but just a great individual effort by the D-pole to get his stick up and, cause some chaos in that passing lane there.
So Harriman, a man down, going to get the ball in the stick of Marcus Warner, who's just going to take it behind X wisely, run around, look for help, gets it up to Bickham. Gets it back to Warner. 3:34 left in this third quarter. Probably running down the time on this penalty, as it looks like a fresh body is going to take over in that box. And that's still Bickham with the ball. Great job. Gets the ball over, and the penalty was killed. So good job by Harriman there. Gunnar Blackburn with the ball.
Yeah, the Mustangs did a nice job. I was a little confused by Northridge's defense. They had the double team set on really well, but you want to lock off those adjacent players when you have the double team. Otherwise, it becomes ineffective because the player can just throw an easy pass to his buddy. So Harriman does a nice job of recognizing that and kills the penalty.
Bickham with the ball. Tried to feed a pass across the crease to Brundage. Gallego coming up with the nice interception, though. He's going to clear, getting chased. Looks upfield, finds Woolsey. Fans getting restless about something. I didn't see anything, Steve. Did you see anything?
No, that was a fine play. Fans are over anxious sometimes, and who can blame them? They want their team to do well. They know the hard work that their son has put in and everything, and they just want every advantage they can get for their team.
There's Skousen with the ball. Like I mentioned, Steve, he had 3 goals in the semifinal game, bringing his tally to 48 on the season, 28 assists for these Knights, averaging 5 points per game. Going up against Barnicki. Great matchup. Diving shot goes in, and they call it good, even though the near ref said he was pushed.
So what happens in that situation is if a player leaves his feet and scores a goal and lands in the crease, the goal is no good, with the exception of a push penalty. So it looked like the official, the close official to us, pulled out his flag to indicate there was the push, but waved it off, saying that the goal was good.
I see, and that's going to tie up this ball game. 7-7 as we see this on replay. What a matchup. I don't know, Steve. I don't know if he was pushed.
A little bit of generous call maybe, but he is a much smaller player matched up against a much bigger defender, so it might not take a whole lot to send him flying there.
Skousen's third goal of the game as we're tied up. 1:44 left. Gertzen with the ball. Someone finally able to catch up to him, Steve, and get the trail check. That's number 7, Yo Finlinson. And another flag down. And another flag down as Gallego's just getting rattled in the head on some of these checks. So
yeah, guys get a little excited when that goalie comes out of the cage. A lot of times goalies don't wear elbow pads, I'd say almost all the time. So guys really try to go after them, and yeah, it doesn't help Harriman's cause there to get a couple of penalties.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen a goalie wear elbow pads. Tweet at us, though, if you have. Twitter handle is @TimHaslam or @Steven Nelson. And let us know if you've ever seen a goalie wearing elbow pads, high school or above, I'd say. You know, I've probably seen it in the youth level a few times, but
absolutely.
Also, tweet any of your questions to us. 1:28 left in this game. Tweet, you know, maybe who you think your MVP of the game has been so far. As we see Herriman one man down. Must have been a penalty on the same player because there were 2 separate flags. Didn't pay attention to what the call was, but regardless, Northridge man up.
And if you're Harriman, the silver lining here is you got 2 penalties, but you're only 1 man down. And if Northridge does score, then you're all even. It goes pretty quickly.
That's right. Sargent with the ball. Sargent with the ball gets it over to Woolsey. Who gets it up top to Huddleston. Northridge not really making that defense move. And the fans are recognizing it too. 44 seconds left.
Yeah, well, they've got a lot of time if both penalties are assessed to the same player. So maybe they're really, you know, just looking for, can they get that shot that they want? And if not, if the penalty is going to carry over to the next quarter, you recognize that with a little time left and hang on to it.
30 seconds remaining as Sargent has the ball, gets it up to Woolsey. I think you might be right, Steve. I think head coach Jaron Woodson for the Northridge Knights is just telling his team to hold it, as if they do successfully, they'll get the ball to start the 4th quarter. But Steve, you gotta, I mean, at the same time though, you're wasting, you know, potentially precious minutes as Skousen runs around. I'd like to see him go behind X in case Herriman is able to cause a turnover, and that's going to do it though. Northridge will get the ball when we start the 4th quarter. All tied up here in this Utah High School Lacrosse League Class B championship game. Tied up at 7. We'll be right back.
Tribal West is the first name in lacrosse out west. For more than 15 years, Tribal West has been gearing up beginners to ballers. Our online store is super easy, and we save you time and money. And team stores, let us do your work. Our deals for both men's and women's MCLA teams are flat out laxtastic. We just made that up. Sublimated unis, made in the USA and delivered on time. Tribal West, proud to be family owned and player operated. Tribal West, look good, play better.
And we're back just in time for this fourth quarter to start between the Northridge Knights and the Herriman Mustangs. Score is tied at 7 as Northridge has a man-up advantage coming into the quarter after a Herriman infraction late in that third quarter. Shot by Northridge, blocked by Herriman, goes way back. And Harriman's going to come up with it. Great play there by Blackburn, able to get his the loose ball. Oh, great play. Finds the 82, Noah Bickham, right on the crease, who buries it.
Yeah, great job of taking advantage of the unsettled situation there. Really didn't like what I saw from the Northridge man up, just trying to take shots from the outside. You want to move that defense around. So you see Harriman on the other end able to get it, and then just a great job of passing it across the face of the cage. It makes the goalie, who's hugging one pipe, have to get all the way across, and hard to make that stop. Gallego basically dives trying to make that save and still can't get to it.
McClune out there for the Knights. Brown out there for the Mustangs. Brown has had success against McClune, who's been a great face-off guy, and it looks like McClune left a little bit early. And Brown will come up with it for the Mustangs, who have an 8-7 lead early in this fourth quarter. Despite what your scoreboard might say, it is the fourth quarter. As Brundage works around the ball, gets the ball over to Bickham, the 89 and 82 brothers. Works it up to 52. I don't know if we've called his name much today, Austin Stauffer. And then over to Barker. So it looks like Herriman with their second or third midfield line. Great feed. Nice dodge. Oh, Wisely backs out as he was getting triple team, Steve. The Cage Blackburn. Errant pass to Stauffer, though, who's able to collect. He's working on McClune. McClune's put in a shift today. As the nice stick check by Fitzgerald sends Warner to the turf.
A powerful stick check there. The Mustangs fortuitous that they came back up with the ball.
And Warner dodges from up top. Going against McClune. Mustangs got to love that matchup. And Warner takes advantage of it. Able to get past McClune for his first goal today.
Yeah, we talk about slide packages on defense. Most teams will, as long as there's a man in the middle on the crease, they'll slide from that guy. It looks like the crease man was so high up that the hot man, the guy to slide, didn't have a good angle to make a slide on it, and no slide came. So there on the replay, you see the big stick check that unfortunately didn't pay any dividends for the Knights, as Herriman was able to retain and ultimately bury that goal.
Brown on the face-off for Herriman. Going up against, I believe, McClune. Yep, McClune out there. Brown coming away with it. What a face-off battle we've had, Steve. Gotta love seeing that.
Yeah, good adjustment by the Herriman coaches. Realized they weren't getting any face-offs and put Brown in there, and he's done some good things for him, including his first goal of the season, which was fun to watch.
Yeah, you knew the second he crossed the midfield line, he was going to take that the distance. And able to find the cage. Hunt unable to clear for Northridge as Herriman gets the ball back. Cage Blackburn with the ball currently.
Northridge defense looks tired, Tim. You notice they had a player running upfield with the ball, but nobody else ran up with him. Just kind of stood there and watched it happen. 3 other Mustangs there to corral it and, keep possession on this side of the field.
Barker with the ball. Looks like he was tripped. No call as Northridge comes up with the ground ball and will look to clear. You're right, though, Steve. Northridge looking a little tired, especially McClune has put in just a ton of work. Fitzgerald with the ball, looking for help, and there isn't any. Oh, there's Skousen on that far side. Great play by Skousen. Heads-up player, first-team All-State midfielder for the Knights. Leads the team in goals and assists and points per game. Just a great heads-up play to get the ball for Northridge.
Tim, as far as that last possession goes, it's not a real game until the turf monster makes an appearance. Bites somebody's toe and causes them to fall, so I guess that must be what happened there.
Great off-ball movement by Skousen, able to turn and get the shot, but no backup for the Knights. Harriman able to retain.
The problem there for Northridge is the cutter was the man coming from X from behind the cage. You need to have that far wing, that opposite guy fill. Where he came from, nobody fills, and so you don't have backup, and you've either got to hit that cage and make that goal, or it's a one-shot possession.
Jaden Strong getting his first touches of the night as he gets a touch in the box. And he's going to jog off as his shift is done. Good shift by Strong. Has a brother on the team, McGuire Strong. Always fun to have a brother on the team. We had a few. We had twins on my high school team. Always fun when they were around. Great play by Herriman. Good, huge save by Gallego. Able to just get his stick up as he was a little off balance. We'll see if Northridge unable to clear. Harriman's going to retain.
You don't like that tight pass. You don't want to pass to a guy who's 3 yards from you. I agree with you. It's fun to have brothers on the team. We had the Kitamura brothers on my Mountain View team when I played. They were a lot of fun. And then on my Utah Valley State College and Utah Valley University team, we had the Madsen brothers. Colin Madsen, the younger of the two, and then Morgan Madsen. I've described him on a previous broadcast as a Ninja Turtle who was able to dominate the face-off X.
Great shot by Warner, gobbled up by Gallego. Gets the outlet pass up to number 60, Bridger Altus.
Let's see if the Knights can come up with a possession here and actually run their offense.
And they're not, and Gertson's going to come away with the ball, and when that happens, it's a free clear. Runs a 4.440. And he gets the ball up to Blackburn. Blackburn with a brother on the team. That one, number 4, is Cage. His brother is 0, Gunnar Blackburn. Seen them on the field a couple times together tonight. As Tyler Jessup with the ball. He's going to run off, typically a face-off midi. So wisely gets it to the offensive midi, number 52, Austin Stauffer. Feeds it over to Gunnar. There's Gunnar right there. I just mentioned him. Gets the ball to X. Oh, great ball movement. And what a shot by Bickham, finding that low to high top left corner. His third of the night.
Yeah, Tim, we've talked about Gallego anticipating that these shooters are disciplined, well-coached shooters, and they're going to shoot for that far pipe. This time they change it up. Nice elevator, low to high, almost off the ground, all the way up to that top corner, the near corner, and it just sneaks between the head of Gallego's stick and the head of him himself.
Going to give a good shout out to our cameraman down on the field. That's Kendall Jackson, number 18 for the University of Utah. You can see him next spring as the Utah season is over. Great shout out to our replay guy too, Zach Goslin in the trailer. Been working here all day to bring you the greatest angles in Utah lacrosse history. As number 1 McClune out there going up against Brown again, and Brown solid at the face-off X for the Mustangs. Gets pummeled as a flag down. Still has the ball though, Steve. What an animal.
Yeah, does a great job of keeping possession. I don't know what the whistle was for.
I don't know what the ref signaled, an over and back signal, but clearly wasn't that. I don't know either, Steve. But, oh, that's right. He left the box after he got a touch with the flag down. Again, Steve and I are used to calling college games where that's not an issue. So forgive us for that. And number 2 for Northridge going to take a seat.
Yeah, it seems a bit of a silly rule. If the other team commits a penalty, I can only have the ball inside the box,
and has to stay in the air. Can't let it hit the ground. A little bit silly. Again, that isn't a rule in the college game. And the Mustangs work it around. Ball down. Gunnar Brundage able to come up with it.
And again, the Mustangs, they run a very simple but effective man up. They'll just work the ball around and just overload a zone or draw a guy to the extreme side of his zone and fill his same zone with another guy and pass back to him.
Shot by Warner goes wide. This 10-7 lead for the Mustangs, Steve, is the greatest lead that any team's had. Blackburn trying to get creative. Wasn't on the same page, and they're going to turn it over, though. Like I said, Steve, though, this is the largest lead that any team's had so far in this game, a 3-goal advantage. Mustangs with the last 3 goals.
Yeah, they've done a good job of just dominating time of possession here in the fourth quarter, and it's hard to score goals when you don't have the ball down on your offensive end.
And another turnover by Northridge. Ball is picked off by Allred. Gets it up to Hunter Brundage, who's weaving and dodging up at the top.
Yeah, Northridge is going to have to make an adjustment on that clear.
Fast break, huge save by Gallego, who is out of the crease. Brundage unable to find, Bickham unable to get around him. What a save by Gallego, what a play.
As I was saying to him, Northridge is going to have to figure out a way to get the ball down on their offensive end, or this game's going to end real quick for them. You know, when worse comes to worse, you just take that thing down, give it to a shorty on your defensive end, and have him run it all the way down.
Yeah, the Knights trail by 3 here. 4:27 left in this ball game. Class B championship of the Utah High School Lacrosse League. We want to thank you for joining us. A huge check there by 40, Jonathan Hunt. Ball is still down. Bickham able to come up with it. The Knights just unable to get the ball, like we're saying. Got to do something, Steve. When do you pull the goalie and start double teaming?
I think you wait for the right time for that to happen. The ball's got to go behind the cage, or you've got to have the offensive player out of position where they're not going to be able to easily take advantage of an open cage. And it's tough to do in this situation. You don't have, the ball out of bounds. You don't have anything like that going on. So it's just tough to set up. Maybe right here you would jump him with that second guy, that pole, and double him there in the corner, but doesn't happen.
Harriman content to pass it around and just work the ball as 3:30 is left. Mustangs have a 3-goal lead. Fans are calling for the stall warning. Great play by Hunt, who's been an animal on that far side today. Got a whistle and a timeout by Northridge. So, Steve, I don't know. It looked like Northridge was on the break. Might have waited until it got into the box to call that timeout, see if you could have materialized something. But regardless, Northridge with the timeout. It's trailing 10-7 here. 3:18 left in this ball game. If you've got questions for us, folks, tweet at us. Twitter handle is @TimHaslam or @TheStephen We'll do our best to answer your questions on air. Couple tweets coming in the Class C game. Haven't seen any from the Class B crowd. Kind of disappointed.
I actually got a Facebook comment.
Okay, I'll take that.
Not a tweet necessarily, but shout out to my buddy and former teammate Rich Moore. He's up in Cache Valley now. Played fall ball with the Utah State University Aggies. Said we're doing a great job, which is nice to hear because we usually don't hear that. So it's nice to hear. He also especially loved my Shakespeare quotes during the Class C game.
That makes 2 of you, and we'll come back into this one. 3:18 remaining. Herriman leads 10-7. Northridge with the timeout. They're going to start the ball with Huddleston. And again, Steve, you look at the position that he's at on the field. He's got to get through. He's still got to clear this ball, And so again, Hunt had the open lane to get into the offensive end of the field and maybe get a touch. Luckily, though, Huddleston able to clear it.
Yeah, maybe it would have been wise just to wait it for him to cross the line, that midfield line, and then call that timeout. But Northridge, no stranger to scoring goals in a hurry. Just a great stutter step face dodge to get his hands free top side, and he'll bounce it home.
That's Cody Bell.
You see, he just wrong foots his man and then bounces it past the goalie because he's so close. It's hard to get a read on it.
Steve, just his 4th goal of the season, coming at a big time for the Knights.
Absolutely. We've seen some role players step up today.
That's right. Probably the message from head coach Jaron Woodson for the Knights was, guys, we got to go. And that's exactly what they did as they trail here 10-8, 3:03 left. Brown out there working against McClune. McClune able to get the pop, scoops it forward. Ball is still down. Play on situation called. And there's the whistle. Going to be a push on Herriman. Okay, there we go. Push on Harriman. Knights are going to retain the ball. So, Steve, another opportunity to get one back here. They get it back, and we're going to have a close game.
Yeah, if you're the Knights, you've got to go. You don't have a lot of time to waste. You want to get a look at a shot pretty darn quick here. The way that the Harriman defense is played.
Shot by Huddleston, saved by Valdez. Good shot by Huddleston, Steve. Don't know if he's my favorite pick. I think I would have gone with Skousen or Nickel, who played extremely well in the semifinals. Head coach Phil Dunn running all the way up the box to get in front of the official to call a timeout. 2:22 remaining in this ball game. Timeout Herriman, who leads 10-8. Steve, what do you do in this situation if you're Herriman?
If you're Harriman, you're just playing keep away at this point. You have a plan to just keep that ball away. You anticipate that Northridge is going to try to double your guy with the ball, so you try to make clear to his adjacent men to start in deep and then pop out to be help. We call it like a V cut, but instead of cutting in and then popping back out, just starting in and popping out, and then you'll have a one-on-one and you can just run away from pressure. If you're Northridge, got to get sticks in passing lanes. You got to stick right on a guy, and yeah, you can't let those adjacents get open for that pass, and trust your double team to take the ball away.
Tweet coming in from Mike Calvert at Utah Lax 14. Says, great to see the quality of Utah lacrosse and how far it's come. Go Utes.
I agree, Tim. I think that's a great comment. I think that these teams that we see here in the Class B championship 10 years ago would have been very dominant teams overall in Class A or Division I, what it was back then.
Calvert, currently a Las Vegas, Nevada resident, used to play for the University of Utah and Skyline High School, was part of the 2005 Skyline High School championship team, and has been a huge supporter of lacrosse both here and now in Las Vegas. Works down in Las Vegas with a couple of the club teams. Great to hear Mike chiming in there, and thanks for watching the broadcast, Mike. Saw him at the Utah UNLV game. He was wearing all blue. Wasn't very happy about it. Nice save by Gallego.
He didn't want to show allegiances to either side.
I guess not, so he wears the color of the biggest rival. That's okay, Mike. We still love you.
I especially love you for that.
Big save by Gallego. Northridge running a little bit out of time. 1:42 left in this ball game.
Yeah, I don't like taking that shot. I would just eat the clock at this point.
Huddleston.
If I'm the Mustangs.
Looks up, sees a guy wide open on the crease, but good checks there by the Mustangs. Able to get the ball back and force that turnover. That could be a big play coming down the stretch.
Yeah, just great checks can be the difference. They've been the difference in several games already that we've seen in one-goal games and things. Just getting his hands right there and getting that lift while he tries to throw the pass and sails wide, and it gets the Mustangs this possession back.
Another timeout. Whistles on the field.
So we didn't see a double team from Northridge coming out of that last one. It'd be interesting to see with where the ball is. There wouldn't be much chance of a shot. So the keeper could come out. Gallego could be covering a man. We'll see if they go with a double team here with just over a minute left to play in a 2-goal game. You've got to get that ball back if you're the Knights.
No doubt. Minute 15 to be exact. Herriman leads 10-8. This would be their first championship in school history. We did mention they made it to a state championship game a couple years ago. Lost to Park City. Park City pulled off the trifecta that year with their girls team also winning the state championship, and it was at Park City. So I know a couple people that weren't happy about that. You had the two number one seeded teams playing on their home field, but regardless, both teams still have to put the ball in the back of the net, win the faceoffs, steal the ball, and Park City just came out on top that day. So we'll see if Northridge comes out with a double team. Another tweet here, Steve, by JT. He asked if Northridge can bring it back, and if so, how?
Well, for Northridge, it's going to be a lot simpler to say than it is to do. You've got to take the ball back quickly. You've got to move it upfield, have a successful clear, which they've had trouble doing, into their offensive end. And then you've got to get it in the hands of your playmakers. You've got to move that ball quickly, and you've got to find shots. And you've got to take them. Take those chances, take those shots. There's not enough time for the Knights to waste here.
Cage Blackburn with the ball being guarded by Northridge's takeaway guy, Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald playing him hard. That's the over-the-head check we saw that saved the semifinal game. Great play by Herriman. Steve, that's probably the dagger in the heart.
Yeah, at this point, you're Northridge, and you knew you had to take chances. So we see the over-the-head check attempt because you got to take that ball away. The Knights didn't double team, so they just left it to one-on-one their poles to get the job done. Can't quite get there, and when you take big chances like that, you leave men open, you let a guy free, and that's the result.
Nicholas Barker with the goal, his only 7th of the season, coming at a crucial time for the Mustangs as they take an 11-8 lead. 52 seconds left. Gray out there fighting against Brown for the Mustangs. Herriman comes up with it. That's 15, Drew Burke. Haven't called his name today as he gets a shift. Finds Blackburn, which is probably a wise move. Blackburn is clearly the Harriman's best ball security specialist. And he's just going to be content to let this clock run out. 22 seconds remaining. I think, honestly, if he just kept running around back there, that would do it as Northridge applies the double team. Blackburn continuing, though, to play well. Barker going to come up with it. And it goes out of the box, which is an infraction here at the high school level still with under 2 minutes. Northridge going to come up with it. And Fitzgerald is just going to hold it. Gets it up to Skousen. Skousen's going to take a rip. Doesn't matter, as the Herriman Mustangs are your 2017 Class B champions. Steve, we mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, didn't really talk about it again. This is the 2nd state championship for head coach Phil Dunn. Won it with Spanish Fork in 2011. First one in history, first coach in history to win with 2 separate teams at any level. Congratulations to the Phil Dunn coached Herriman Mustangs, taking home an 11-8 win over Northridge. What a season by the Mustangs.
Yeah, the Mustangs really had a great season. We talked off camera about they only had 4 losses on the season. 2 were to 2 of the best teams in Class A. And then a couple other very good teams that they just let it get away from them. They've had a fantastic season. After a pretty poor showing, Coach Phil Dunn said last year, he told his team to buy into the system, just continue to believe in what we're doing, and they apparently did because they've made quite the turnaround this season and had a great season, end up Class B champions. Congratulations to the Mustangs.
That's going to do it for this broadcast. Don't go anywhere, though, folks, as the Class A championship, the main event, the end cap, will begin at 7 p.m. as the number 3 Brighton Bengals take on the number 5 Juan Diego Soaring Eagle in a rematch of the 2016 state championship. We'll hope you join us then. Thanks for watching.